I'm John, I'm 59 years old, and after 40 years of drumming, I switched to guitar. If you're 50 or older and you're thinking about switching to guitar from drums, or you've already started playing guitar, then in this video I'm going to talk about why I switched to guitar, some of the benefits from that come along. You know, the things that you learned as a drummer, some of those things transfer over onto guitar. So I'll talk about those, and I'm also going to talk about the challenges of learning guitar at an older age. I started when I was 54, so 5 years ago. 5 years ago when I was 54, I started, I took about 10 lessons. I didn't keep track of how many. It was about that, just to get me started. And then I learned from their online resources, and I'll give you some of those here. But I talk about how drumming helps on guitar, some of the challenges, and then I'm going to show you some of my skills so you can see, you know, kind of the level I play at. I'm a rhythm guitar guy. It's acoustic only. I mean, these are acoustic electric guitars. I had an electric for a while, but there was too much to learn and not enough time. So anyway, let's get into this. So why did I go from drumming to guitar? Well, drumming is loud. It's noisy. My wife hated it. I have my son and his family live right next door to us. So as they were raising their kids, you know, babies need naps. And when babies needed naps, then Papa John had to stop playing drums. So there was that. I had limited windows of time to practice. And then I also started developing tennis elbow. My elbow got really sore and my arm was weak. And magically, that all disappeared after I stopped drumming. So why guitar though? Why not piano? Well, guitar, I thought, you know, it's portable, lightweight. I can take it anywhere basically. And I understood that if I learned a few chords, I could maybe even write some songs. But I also understood that the rhythm and stuff, rhythms and strumming patterns and stuff like that, I could learn easily because of all my drumming experience. So I thought it would go quickly, the learning process. Well, so yeah, let's talk a little bit here before I get into the challenges, talk about the benefits of drumming that translate over to guitar. Number one, you got your timing, your sense of timing, your rhythm, groove, how to play in the pocket. You know, if you were a pocket drummer, just really, you know, really get it into it. You know how to kind of fit into that. You know how to play those rhythms. You can hear strumming patterns. I can hear the strumming patterns. And if you played in bands, then, you know, I was mainly a rock drummer and played country songs. We played some polkas and waltzes, a little small town band. We played wedding receptions back in the 80s, right? And then I learned, my favorite band growing up was Rush. So I learned a bunch of Rush songs. And I had to learn Rosanna by Toto. So that shuffle beat, you know, the Bonham Shuffle, John Bonham Shuffle. Not that I'm a fan of Led Zeppelin, I never was, but John Bonham was a great drummer. Jeff Porcaro, Neil Peart, those guys. So anyway, translating all that onto guitar. So you got the rhythm, the timing, the groove, fitting in the pocket, and you can hear strumming patterns. Once you learn how to play those chords, and those are the challenges, that's the challenging part. When you first start learning, as an older learner, so I'm talking to people in their 50s, 60s, 70s maybe, yes, you can learn a new instrument, but learning the fretboard, getting your fingers to play to land on the chords the right way, and then muscle memory, you know, because if you learn I remember learning online from Justin Guitar, you know, put your fingers on the chord shape, make sure it's cleanly, and then take it off. Put it, you know, Marty Music will teach them some resources you've got Justin Guitar. I learned from him. I learned Marty Music. Andy Guitar is another one. And then recently I stumbled onto some YouTube channels, Tony Polcastro and Chevin's Music. I think it's pronounced Chevin or Chevins. And there's a ton of people out there that do really good job at explaining to beginners giving good beginner lessons and helping you online. But no, I mean, there's no substitute for in-person lessons. I get that part, but totally up to you. Those are some resources. And then another one I use for getting music to learn is ultimateguitar.com. You can download millions of songs from that. You can either pay for a subscription, or I think they still offer a free plan, which is, of course, a little more limited. But anyway, I'll get my songs from there, get the chord shapes. I am not a theory guy. I am not tabs. I don't know how to read tabs. Give me chord shapes and basic chords. My basic chords, basically G, E minor, C, D. Sorry about that. A minor, B6. I can F. I don't ever plan on playing in bars, so I'm not going to learn bar chords. That was bad. That was bad. I hope you didn't go, oh, jeez, this guy, the guy thinks he's funny. Okay, so that's why I switched. That's how drumming. Okay, so how drumming on guitar. Okay, not drumming on guitar, but you take somebody who doesn't know rhythms yet, they're learning rhythms, a song like Horse with No Name. So they'll kind of get that strumming pattern, but you and I, as former drummers, we're going, well, we know that song. Get what I'm saying? So that transfers over onto guitar. We can pick that up. We hear the strumming patterns. This might be a familiar one. Something like that. And even if we don't know the strumming patterns perfectly as they are on the original recordings, we can make it up and make it sound like that. And if you're playing with a group of friends for somebody, your audience doesn't know the difference. They don't know complex chords and simple chords. They just want something that sounds good, feels good, right? So some of the challenges. So there you have, an example of, we know rhythm, we know timing, we know groove, we can fit in play in a pocket, and that makes it easy, that part, once we learn these chord shapes and stuff. So that was the challenging part. The challenging part, starting at a later age, muscle memory takes longer to get that. Now, for me, it seemed like progress is slow. It seems slow. Plus, we're going from playing and drumming and able to, learn songs right away. We're experienced musicians already, right? And now we're going to total beginner. We have to learn the fretboard. We have to learn these chord shapes. We have the muscle memory, Fortunately, though, we understand practice. We understand that it takes consistent practice. And because we love playing an instrument, it's easy. We're not going to quit, right? We're not going to. Why would we quit? If you're a former drummer or played an instrument in the past, you know what it takes to practice. So I'm not even worried about quitting. Frustrating? Yeah. Getting over the fact that you have to learn something from the beginning. That part was a little bit challenging to get over. But I knew, for me anyway, that I wasn't going to quit. I had discouraging times. Yeah, I felt like smashing the guitar against the wall some days. And I mean, if you've already started practice, I'm in no way a guitar teacher. Okay, I'm just talking to you, guitar player to guitar player, give you an example of my skill level after 5 years of playing and starting at a later age in life, where I'm at, and I'm a rhythm guitarist. I set out basically, my plan was to be able to learn some chords well so that I could maybe play at church for something, help them out, you know, at whatever, but I haven't even done that yet. And I'm not even strummed with other guitar players. It's just me here at home by myself, playing, enjoying it, learning a few things here and there, and then making up my own rhythms with the chords that I've learned. And then just kind of trying to polish up on, get better at it. Ring of Fire. Where was I at here? And so a little bit of my skills there. So the challenges of that, progress is slow, feeling discouraged, but understanding that in time, that muscle memory, it was all of a sudden trying to get that. So you're getting used to that, getting used to the chord shapes, and then if you're going to learn a song, you got chord changes in there, so you have to change from this to this to this. All right, at this point, I think I've covered pretty much why I switched, how drumming helps on guitar. You kind of seen that, a little bit of that. Some of the challenges of learning guitar at an older age, and you just have to be patient. That was probably the most difficult, just managing expectations. My expectations, I expected progress to be a little quicker than it was, so it was kind of a blow when, when I first got started, how slow it really was. I wasn't used to that, and that was tough. But those are just some of the challenges. I got through it, and finally muscle memory just clicked, and I can play stuff without looking at my hands. I do look all the time. It's just the way it is. And no, I'm not a noodler, not a lead guitar. I'm a rhythm guy. And the thing is, as a former drummer, I know what it takes to learn something. You really have to take it slow. You got to break it down. You do it really slow and slowly build up and build up and build up till you get it. Again, the patience with that. Okay, so what do I like to do? I like to play those 4 chords, right? And I like to take the right, like play the G. Okay, let's try this one. My mind's all over the place, sorry. Man in Black by Johnny Cash. We always wonder why I dress in black. But I always dress in black. So I'll take a song like that and I'll just start making rhythms up to it and adding 16th notes in there and 32nd notes and triplets and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's what you can do with 3-4 chords, you got G, E minor, C, and D. So I found this song, Where Have All the Flowers Gone by Peter, Paul, and Mary, and I think Kingston Trio or some other trio, whatever, redid it. And I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I think I was watching one of those infomercials on TPT of all these old folk singers back in the day, and they're doing a whatever special on it. I was like, wow, look at that. So I looked it up on Ultimate Guitar, and all the flowers gone. Time has seen, where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago, where have all the flowers gone? Learn to do we have that with playing drums. And then, you know, a little bit, you know, I learned some Travis picking, so I'll work on that a little bit. I know, buzzing strings, right? Buzzing chords or buzzing strings. No buzzing allowed. Well, that's the beauty of where I'm at with how I play and why I do it. I don't care. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Nope. And you're probably thinking, well, you certainly are not doing that. Sounds good to me. That's it, you know. So I'll take strumming patterns, I'll mess around with them, you know. And do stuff like that. All right, what can I leave you with? I don't know, what should I play? You know, you can play stuff like Mrs. Robinson. And you see you got that. I was going to play something else. All kinds of different stuff you can do messing around on the guitar, going from being a drummer to a guitar player. That's it. If you got any thoughts about it, if you'd like to add anything to what I said, or you've got, you know, yeah, any comment you want to leave, go ahead, leave a comment. I'll try and respond to all of them. And if you'd like to subscribe, feel free to do so. I appreciate that. And with that, I'm going to end it because that's about all I got. All right. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.